Welcome to this quick introduction to dtn7 in the core network emulator. A few steps are necessary to follow this tutorial. First, Docker must be installed to use the core network emulator. Second, the Rust toolchain must be present to build dtn7. If you are using a non-Linux platform, additional steps are necessary. The cross tool must be installed to easily cross-compile dtn7 for the core emulator Docker image. And an X server like Xquartz on macOS is needed to display the graphical user interface. So let's begin with the actual tutorial. First of all, we need a directory to share the build files with our Docker image. Then we compile dtn7 for our target platform. And then we copy the generated binary files to our shared directory. Additionally, we copy one of the example scripts provided for use with dtn trigger later on. Now we add our localhost to the list of allowed hosts for our X server. And then we start our Docker image with the shared directory. Once we see the UI, we also want to connect to this host via SSH for additional commands we want to issue there. And once we're connected, we can start clicking our topology by adding different nodes. We also copy the generated DTN binary files to some place in the path. And then we add all our new nodes to one Class C network, link them to our Wi-Fi node, and then we start our simulation. We can see the topology here, which nodes are connected by these green lines, and then we can live drag and drop nodes from the network and update the topology. We can then start our DTN daemon using the mTCP convergence layer and epidemic routing, and we can see here which peers are seen by which other nodes. We can double click on each node to get a shell directly on this node. And we can then send messages from one node to another by using the dtn send command. On the other side, we can use the dtn receive command to see these messages. But we can also use the provided shell script for async that outputs these messages in combination with the dtn trigger command to get constantly output of new incoming messages. So once we receive a message, it gets directly outputted. If we don't have a direct connection, of course, nothing is outputted, but we can then wait when we move near a node that has cached these messages. We then receive these once we reconnect again. We can also stop the DTN daemons on all nodes, clear all log files, and restart the simulation if we want to change something so we don't have to restart the Docker image. That's it, and I hope this gets you easily started with dtn7 and the core network emulator.